Hello guys, this is your friend and we are back with a new fanfic. Which is what if Naruto gets kidnapped and becomes a Kumo shinobi? Part 1. And if you enjoy this fanfic then please press the like button and subscribe to my channel for more fanfic like this. And now let's start the fanfic. It was a beautiful night in the forests of Fire Country. The pale moonlight illuminated the darkness and gave the area a serene air about it. A serene air that was destroyed when the sound of a tree crashing to the ground rang through the forest and scared the wildlife half to death. Damn it! A tall muscular man with dark skin and blonde hair screamed as he punched another tree, sending it crashing to the ground. Another dark-skinned man watched from a few feet away, lazily leaning against another tree. We almost went to war, and for what? A goddamn corpse with nothing of value. I told you that you need to stop playing the villain. You need to be more like me and start with the chillin'. Damn it, B, I'm not in the mood for your ridiculous rhyming. You saw it, didn't you? The old man's eyes weren't the eyes of a shinobi past his prime. They had fire in them. The same fire that the fourth had. As the man recalled the events that transpired earlier that night, he broke out in a cold sweat. Are you actually afraid? The only time I've seen you sweat like that is when you're with a dame. B, do you have any idea who the other people in the room were when we received the body of our ambassador's murderer? I've never been one to tell lies. I was checking out the female in the corner with the tattoos under her eyes. That was the head of the Inuzuka clan. The head of every single clan in the Leaf Village minus the Hyuga was in that room with us. They weren't the only ones. The man with the mask who stood next to the Hokage is Kakashi of the Sharingan. Even though he isn't an Uchiha, he's said to be even more proficient in it than some pure-blooded members of the clan. He's also the last living student of the fourth Hokage. If the three legendary Sannin weren't off doing whatever it is they're doing in the world, we probably would have seen them there too. What are you getting at? You defeat ninja of their caliber at the drop of a hat. One-on-one, I have no doubts that I could beat every single person in that room. 2 or 3 of them at the same time. Even that wouldn't be enough to stop me. 4 or more. That starts to be more of an obstacle. All of them at the same time. No one short of my father could handle odds like that. I've done everything I can to be just like him, even pursuing rare bloodlines just as he did, but what use is power if you find yourself with enemies around every corner? My father was invincible and even he couldn't fight forever. If we had gone to war with the Leaf Village over this, then every single minor village we antagonized over the years would rush to their aid. Soon after that, the other great villages would probably join them as well. It would be us against the world and the world would win. Even with 2 perfect Jinchuriki on our side, we would be overwhelmed by the combined power of the other villages. You're letting your ego take a big hit. It wasn't your idea to start this shit. It may not have been my idea to try and steal the Byakugan, but I honestly can't say that I wouldn't have tried if I hadn't been busy judging the Chunin exams. Though I can tell you with certainty that if I had, it wouldn't have been such a disgusting plan. Kidnapping a little girl on her birthday. Disgraceful. They should have tried to bribe a disgruntled branch member or something. Quote. I've made a decision. No more of this antagonistic behavior toward the other villages. We were lucky that this whole situation didn't blow up in our face. Perhaps we can smooth over our relationships with the other villages in time. Dibs on smoothing over relations with the Mist Village. Quote. Why? If our intel is right, then the next Mizukage is most likely going to be a woman named Mei Terumi. She's supposed to be a smoking hot bombshell with real nice boobies. No. But bro. No. Now let's head home before I put you in the iron claw and drag you there. The 2 men went on their way, blissfully unaware that they were about to have a chance encounter that would change their lives. Not far from their current location was a cave that led down into an expansive underground tunnel system. In the depths of these tunnels was a laboratory where an experiment was currently being performed. A young blonde boy with whisker marks on his face was strapped to a table, unconscious and unaware of his current situation. Standing over him was a pale man with evil eyes and a despicable smile. Let's begin. The pale man ordered. He laid down on another table next to the boy, and a young red-haired girl stood in between the tables. Remember, keep the boy's consciousness away from the nine-tailed fox while I'm negotiating with it. I know my damn role, so shut your damn mouth, Orochimaru. The young redhead took one of Orochimaru's hands in hers and did the same for the young boy. The older man fell into a deep sleep the same as the boy. Success. Orochimaru noted as he stared into the eyes of one of the most powerful creatures in the world. You. I know you. The beast said from behind its cage. I see my reputation precedes me. Orochimaru bowed respectfully. You are Orochimaru of the Sannin. Once comrade to Jiraiya and Tsunade, and the jailer of my jailer. I beg you not to take it personally, Great Fox. It was not my intention to make you a prisoner twofold. My goal is instead to offer you a truce. A truce? Let me guess. You want me to not interfere when you use your disgusting technique to take over this boy's body, in exchange for you setting me free when you are done with him. You are wise indeed, Great Fox. When the boy has matured, I wish to become him, and I can only do that if you permit it. In exchange, when the time comes for me to find a new host, I will set you free. Begone from my sight, you filthy creature. That leaves a period of 3 years that I will be forced to share a body with you. I won't be used as a tool for the petty conflicts of man anymore. Least of all one as short-sighted and disgusting as you. You wound me, Great Fox. I only wish to ally myself with you as we have a common enemy. The Leaf Village has kept you imprisoned for generations. Surely you wish for vengeance. An ally, you say? If you truly wish to be my ally, then do one thing for me. Whatever you wish, Great Fox. Say my name. Quote. What? You wish to be my ally, right? The least you can do for an ally is learn his name. Did you even attempt to research my name before you contacted me? I never came across a name in my research. Really? Not even in the valley where I was heralded as a god by the local farmers. Did you even know about that? Did you care about what I once was, or only about what I could do for you? Keep your truce. This boy may be weak, but he is a better container than you. He cared enough to ask me my name. Orochimaru was suddenly grabbed by the throat by a tendril of pure chakra. It lifted him off the ground while choking him. For the record, human, my name is Kurama. If you survive this, then remember it. Elsewhere in the young boy's mind, the young girl from before was keeping the boy's consciousness isolated as ordered. This manifested as a small cage that the boy barely fit in. How could you do this to your own family? The young boy questioned through teary eyes. Just because we share the same name doesn't make us family. A disgrace like you that wasn't even born with red hair doesn't deserve to call yourself an Uzumaki. You don't deserve to call yourself a human being. Whatever, lame ass. Just be a good boy and wait for Orochimaru to be done. Ah! A deafening scream of pain rang through the boy's mind, making the red-haired girl jump from the shock. That was Orochimaru. What the fuck happened? The foul-mouthed girl questioned. I don't know, but, the young boy said as his body started glowing red. It feels good. He yelled triumphantly as he found the strength to break free of the girl's mental bonds. No fucking way. The girl tried to sever the connection between their minds, but she wasn't fast enough as the boy lunged at her and delivered a devastating punch. Get out of my head. The boy yelled as he punched her with all his might. The force was enough to send her back to her own mind and body, and she even flinched as if she had actually been hit in the real world. Ah! Orochimaru screamed as his body burned with an unnatural crimson fire. Shit! The girl yelled as she grabbed a nearby fire extinguisher. Before she could use it to put her master out, it was snatched away from her by the now awake young boy, his body now covered in a red aura of pure chakra that gave him the strength to break his bonds. Naruto, wait. The girl's plea fell on deaf ears as Naruto swung the invaluable piece of safety equipment right into her stomach. Now get out of my life. A sickening crack told Naruto that he broke some of the girl's ribs with his swing. He looked down at her for a second with pity in his eyes. I'm sorry to Yuya. Naruto threw the now dented fire extinguisher across the room before making a beeline for the door and jumping through it, splintering the wood into a million pieces. Do me a favor and don't try something like that again. Your body can barely handle the paltry amount of chakra I'm pumping into you as it is. If you compound that with idiotic stunts, then I can't guarantee that you'll last long enough to get us out of here. I'm sorry, Kurama. Don't apologize, just dodge to the left now. Naruto quickly did as ordered and dodged a tranquilizer dart that otherwise would have hit him spot on and possibly knocked him out. Run through him. He's not a true threat. Naruto lunged at the guard and knocked him out of the way with a drop kick. His head hit the wall and he was knocked out easily. This base is infested with weaklings. Orochimaru overestimated himself and the allure of his offer. He didn't post extra guards in case we escaped. His arrogance is only matched by the Uchiha bastards. Naruto ignored Kurama's boasting and quickly found the exit. He didn't understand how, but Naruto somehow knew where everyone in the base was and was able to take detours and shortcuts out of the way of any guards aside from the first one. When they reached the exit of the cave, Naruto jumped for joy and threw his fist into the air before landing and continuing to run as fast as he could. Don't celebrate just yet. We have to get to the Leaf Village as soon as possible. I have no idea how long Orochimaru will stay burning. I doubt a man such as him would die from such a simple thing as flames, even if they are powered by me. Hold it. There are 3 super strong guys heading this way. Should we go ask them for help? You're right, we should go talk to them. I have a feeling 2 of them will be willing to help considering who they are. What do you mean, Kurama? You and I aren't the only 2 forced into a relationship like this. I'll explain more when we get to them. As Naruto and Kurama rushed to the side of the mystery trio, Orochimaru finally mustered the power to save himself by shedding his skin like a snake. He stared at the burning mound of what used to be his own flesh as his rage started to bubble up from within him. That goddamn fox made a fool of me. No one makes a fool of me. He screamed as he ran toward the cave exit, hoping to find the boy captured by one of his guards. He would have stopped to kill the guard that Naruto had knocked out during his escape, but he was more preoccupied with finding the boy before he got away. He had no idea how fast the boy could travel with the aid of the fox's chakra, and Naruto had a head start. Lucky for Orochimaru, he found Naruto's tracks quick as the boy made no attempt at hiding them. Orochimaru ran the fastest that he had run in a long time to catch up to the boy. Within minutes, Naruto was closing in on the trio he was chasing. He was close enough that he thought he could yell to them, but he was suddenly grabbed around the waist by a white snake. Another white snake roped itself around his mouth, effectively gagging him. You gave me quite the shock when you burned me, Kurama. I expected you to accept my offer instantly. I didn't think you would have such a strong connection to this boy considering what you did to his parents. No matter. Even if I can't take over the boy's body, I still have uses for one of the last Uzumaki. I noticed that you were able to slip by the majority of my guards undetected. It seems my theory about you inheriting powerful sensory abilities was spot on. Naruto, we're close to help. Try to get the snake out of your mouth so you can yell. Naruto started biting into the snake covering his mouth as Orochimaru unceremoniously started dragging him through the forest by his leg. The snake tried to hold on, but Naruto managed to chew all the way through it very quickly, and he yelled as loud as he could. Help me! He screamed before Orochimaru turned around and stepped on the boy's head. There is no help. Now shut your mouth and come quietly. Not far from the current situation, A and B stopped when they heard a faint voice back in the direction they came. Did you just hear something, B? It wasn't very loud, but whatever it was, I think we should check it out. Orochimaru continued to grind Naruto's tiny head into the ground, but he had to stop and jump out of the way when a bolt of lightning came out of nowhere and almost hit him dead center. What now? Orochimaru growled. Into view walked A and B, and Orochimaru's eyes went wide with shock. The Raikage and the Jinchuriki of the 8 tails. Why in the world are they here? Wait. The situation with the failed kidnapping of the Hyuga heiress. The Raikage must have chosen to come deal with the fallout himself. Damn it, if they realize who Naruto is, they'll take him for themselves. What's going on here? The Raikage questioned. B answered as he flipped through a small book. We've got an S-rank criminal over here. If we take this guy back to the Leaf Village, our relationship with them will be in the clear. S-rank criminal. Orochimaru of the Sannin with a heart ice cold. It says right here that he's worth my weight in gold. What in the world is he rhyming for? Orochimaru thought. This guy is so cool. He says everything in rhyme. Naruto thought. Inside his mind, Kurama slammed his head into the bars of his cage. Is this really your partner Gyuki? At least mine has the excuse of being a little kid. Suddenly Naruto was set free when B cut the snake that was holding him with a small sword. B offered Naruto his hand, and as soon as the two touched, Naruto understood what Kurama meant earlier. You're just like me. You have an animal friend inside you too. Bro, this kid is a Jinchuriki. B yelled, too surprised to rhyme for once. What? The Raikage yelled in surprise. Orochimaru looked back and forth between the two men. He knew he was no match for the two of them at the same time. One-on-one maybe, but the two men were known as one of the deadliest duos in the world. Orochimaru weighed his options carefully. He could quickly slip away while they were preoccupied with the boy, or he could stay and fight for his prize. Orochimaru was never one for gambling, unlike a certain ex-teammate of his, so he decided to cut his losses and leave. The loss of the boy wasn't devastating anyway. He had other Uzumaki, and the nine-tailed fox wasn't willing to cooperate like he originally thought it would. Orochimaru backed up against a tree and his body almost melted into it and he disappeared from sight. What the hell? The Raikage said as he watched Orochimaru disappear. He ran over and destroyed the tree with a mighty punch, but it was in vain. He stayed on guard for a few seconds, but Naruto put him at ease. Don't worry, he's long gone. I can tell, Naruto said happily. You can sense his chakra. I guess so. I've always just been able to tell where people are by concentrating. I can even tell how they feel sometimes. Those are impressive skills, kid. What's your name and how old are you? My name is Naruto Uzumaki and I'm 7 years old, sir. Uzumaki. B, come here for a second. A motion for his brother to come over and he did. The two huddled together. He's the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails, isn't he? Yeah, the last Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails was an Uzumaki too, wasn't she? Yeah, the same girl that my father tried to kidnap from the Leaf Village, right? Yeah, that means this kid is most likely that woman's son, right? Yeah, we may not be able to bring them the criminal Orochimaru, but if we bring them back their Jinchuriki, then it would go a long way to repairing our relationship with the Leaf. Yeah, let's take him home. Maybe afterward, I can find that sexy Inuzuka woman and throw her my bone. Quote. No. But bro, no. A and B were surprised when they heard Naruto speak up. What is it, kid? I asked. This guy over here is like me, right? Yep. I'm the container of number 8. I got so much power that all the villains hate. Could you train me? Come again? The Raikage asked. I want you to train me. Kurama says that if I want to be strong, then I should follow you and train to master his power like you did for Gyuki. Quote. We aren't from your village, kid. If you come with us, that means you can't go back to your old village anymore. Kurama already explained that to me. Look, I never want someone like that guy to hurt me ever again. Even if it means that I can't see the old man Hokage anymore, or my friend who buys me ramen, I have to become stronger. Please. Naruto dropped to his knees and started crying. A and B were stuck between a rock and a hard place. Listen, kid, our villages aren't on good terms right now. They'll get even madder at us when they find out we took you with us instead of returning you. Please. You're my best chance to become stronger. I'll tell them that it was my idea, just please take me with you. Naruto continued to sob. Eventually the Raikage got tired of it. God damn it, fine. He picked up Naruto and slung him over his shoulder. Don't get comfortable over there, kid. If I have to, I'll ship you back to the Leaf Village in a heartbeat if it means avoiding a war. The war never came. When news reached the Leaf Village that their Jinchuriki was alive and well in the Cloud Village, many of the more militant-minded shinobi demanded that he be returned. The Hokage might have been persuaded by these voices had it not been for the input of one of his students. Did you see the boy? The Hokage asked his student, the legendary Jiraiya of the Sannin, who had just come back from an unexpected and unknown visit to the Cloud Village. Yeah, he started living with the Jinchuriki of the Two Tails. She's a pretty young thing with good maternal instincts. She treats him like her own son. Did you make yourself known to him? No, and sensei, I have no intention of going back for him. What? Explain yourself, Jiraiya. Here he was treated as a pariah for his connection to the nine-tailed fox. In the Cloud Village, the exploits of Killer Bee and Yugito Ni have lessened the negative image the populace has of Jinchuriki, even if only a little. The Cloud Village is honestly the best place for him right now. You would put your godson's needs over the village. Yes, I would, and I know you feel the same way I do, even if you can't admit it. Tell the elders that you ordered me to retrieve the boy and I refused. They won't have the guts to do anything about it. I'm still the greatest spy in the village and they still need me. Very well, Jiraiya. I will defer to your judgment on this matter. What will you do now? I'm going to fix the mistake you made all those years ago. I'm going to find Orochimaru and end him. Unaware of the conversation about him taking place a world away, Naruto was currently trying and failing to perform his first jutsu. The clone jutsu was one of the most basic jutsu in the ninja world. Why then could Naruto not perform it? He was interrupted when a familiar face came, bearing gifts. Yo! Killer Bee yelled from afar, holding a pair of scrolls in each hand. I brought some scrolls that belong to your clan. Use them to make your ninja style a bit less bland. Thanks, Bee-sensei. Naruto grabbed one of the scrolls and opened it. He stared at it intensely for a few seconds before hanging his head in shame. I forgot that I can't read. It's cool, little brother. Reading for you won't be a bother. Bee took the scroll from Naruto and began reading it for him. Shadow Clone Jutsu. Oh yeah, right there. Naruto mumbled in his sleep. A few feet away, a young dark-skinned boy with white hair, a lollipop in his mouth, and a Cloud Village headband sat on a log and sharpened a katana. Another one of those dreams. The boy thought. Wait, no. Naruto started shifting around in his sleeping bag, obviously terrified of the direction his dream took. Or Orochi. Naruto was snapped out of his dream when his friend ran over and slapped him awake. Ah. Naruto looked around in a panic but calmed down when he noticed the other boy. That sounded like a bad one, Naruto. Thanks, Omoi. It wasn't as bad as they used to be. I'm more annoyed that it interrupted a good dream. I was this awesome martial artist that was trained by gods and had this badass warrior princess wife. Oh, and I could wear orange without people giving me shit for it. That was the best part. Anyway, I was with my badass wife when that guy showed up again. Naruto hung his head low and Omoi put an understanding hand on his shoulder. We're pretty close to where you escaped, aren't we? Yeah, I was lucky that Bee-sensei and the Raikage were there. If they hadn't been, Sis and Karui are coming back. Don't mention my nightmare. I don't want Sis to worry. Omoi went back to sharpening his blade and Naruto started packing up his sleeping bag just as two girls walked into the clearing. One was a dark-skinned girl around Naruto's age with striking red hair. The other was a beautiful blonde in her early 20s. About time you woke up, sleeping beauty. Hey sis. Did you and Karui go fill up on water or something? Yeah, here's your canteen. The older Kunoichi tossed the container to Naruto and he grabbed it, using a little bit of the water to start brushing his teeth. Yugito-sensei, how much longer until we get to the Leaf Village? Omoi asked as he gave his sword a final wipe down and sheathed it. Not much longer. We can get there by this afternoon if we really hustle. Then let's hustle. Naruto exclaimed right as he finished his morning hygiene ritual. Chunin exams, here we come. I can't wait to prove myself against some strong competition. How could Naruto know that at that exact moment some of the strongest genin in the Leaf Village were hoping for the same thing? The Chunin exams start soon. We should be seeing foreigners in the village within the next few days. A teenage boy with pale eyes said, as he meditated under a tree. I know what you're thinking, Neji. Promise me that you'll play nice if any Cloud Village shinobi show up. A cute girl with hair buns said. She nonchalantly tossed a kunai into the tree by his face but received no reaction. 1010 is right, my friend. Your grudge against them is valid, but it is important to keep one's emotions in check when undergoing a trial as difficult as the Chunin exams. A boy in a green spandex and huge eyebrows said. Lee, 1010. Your concern is touching, but I am not a man who loses control easily. If any Cloud shinobi do appear, I shall conduct myself as is fitting for a Hyuga. In a nearby training ground, another group of genin were standing around. This group consisted of a girl with the same pale eyes as the boy from earlier, a boy in a gray hoodie with a dog on his head, and an intimidating guy with dark sunglasses on. I wonder what Kurenai-sensei wants to talk to us about. What do you think, Shino? The guy with the dog asked the sunglasses-wearing boy. The Chunin exams are soon. Perhaps she thinks we are worthy of competing. CH Chunin exams. Are we truly ready for that? Of course you three are ready. They all turned to see their sensei had just arrived behind them. Kurenai-sensei. All three kids shouted before running up to the woman. So Shishino was right. We're really gonna take the Chunin exams? Yes, Hinata. You all have the chance to take the exams. You have a choice though. If you feel you aren't ready, no one can force you to come. However, just know that I feel all three of you are ready and fully capable of making Chunin. Yahoo! I can't wait to kick some serious tail. Although I don't share Kiba's enthusiasm, I too believe this is an excellent opportunity for us. Why? Because being allowed to take the Chunin exams so soon into one's career is quite rare. The female of the three just stood there silently contemplating what she should do. If I take the Chunin exams, I could get stronger, but what if I fail? Deciding that she wanted some time to herself to think, Hinata excused herself. She retreated to an alley within the village where she promised to meet one of her friends in an hour. Said friend was waiting at another training grounds. This pink-haired girl was pacing around, visibly angry. To her right were three training logs that her teammates were sitting next to. They were both dark-haired boys, but one of them was pale as a ghost. The pale one was scribbling in a notebook while the other one just waited patiently. I am so sick of this shit. The pink-haired girl said. The more you think about it, the slower time seems to pass. You should sit back and just relax, Sakura. The artist of the group said. No, Sai. This was supposed to be our day off. I had plans to spend the day with Ino and Hinata, and I'll be damned if Kakashi-sensei makes me late. There are worse things to be late for. Your period, for example. Although Sasuke refuses to go out with you, so the chances of that are rather low. About 10 seconds later, their Jonin-sensei Kakashi Hatake arrived to find an angry Sakura standing above an unconscious Sai. The lump on Sai's head looks a lot bigger than usual. You've been keeping up with the weight training regimen I put you on, I'm proud of you. The silver-haired, mask-wearing man said, peeking over a small orange book. Where were you this whole time? Reading porn again. Sakura, you don't read porn. You read smut. Kakashi had a little laugh while scratching the back of his head, but he only made the young Kunoichi angrier. Not funny. Well, if I say that I recommended you for the Chunin exams, will you forgive me? Back in town, another genin squad was getting the same good news as they ate in a barbecue restaurant. Troublesome, a pineapple-haired youth mumbled. What do you mean troublesome? We get to take the Chunin exams our first year of being genin. Do you have any idea how rare that is, Shikamaru? A blonde-haired beauty questioned. Yes, I do. That doesn't make it any less troublesome, Ino. Will there be food? A rather large child asked. Damn it, Choji, there's more to life than just food. Ino yelled. The three Genin's Jonin instructor Asuma just laughed at the three's antics. What's so funny, Asuma? The loudmouthed female of the group asked. You three just remind me of my old team when I was your age. Suddenly Ino jumped out of her seat. That reminds me, I made a promise to Forehead Girl and Hinata to meet for a girls' day out. I should go find them. She left and the boys had a little chuckle at her affectionate nickname for her best friend. You would think she would have dropped the nickname when she and Sakura got over their stupid fight over Sasuke. Choji said between bites of food. About a year ago, Ino and Sakura had run into each other on their way to the academy. Every time this happened, they would race to class with the winner getting the right to sit next to Sasuke. This day happened to be a draw, so after she caught her breath, Sakura turned to Ino intent on arguing about who got to sit next to Sasuke. To Sakura's surprise, Ino wasn't paying attention to her. Her gaze was fixed on a student that Sakura had never seen before. Ino blushed a light pink and stared at the mysterious pale boy as he drew on a sketch pad. Ino, are we gonna decide who gets to sit next to Sasuke? What about the sauce is gay? Ino. When Ino noticed another girl was about to sit next to the new boy, she ran at top speed and cut her off. She glared at her with an evil eye, silently claiming this newbie for herself. Forehead can have Sasuke. This guy is way cuter. Ino sat down and introduced herself with a blush. Sakura, meanwhile, strolled over to Sasuke and claimed the seat next to him. Today is gonna be a good day. Both girls thought. Back in the present, Sakura and Hinata had already met up after their respective team meetings and were walking to the ice cream shop they planned to meet up at. Can you believe it, Hinata? We get to take the Chunin exams already. I can't wait to get out there and show off how kick-ass I am. I don't know if I'm ready for the Chunin exams. Sakura looked at her depressed friend with a look of genuine concern on her face. Hinata, you're a great ninja, you just need confidence. I'm sorry. Don't apologize. This is what I'm talking about. You need to get angry. Get some passion in your life. The reason me and Ino are such badasses is because we give it our all to impress our boys. Sakura. Sasuke and Sai aren't your and Ino's boyfriends, so why do you call them your boys? Hey, they might not be ours right now, but one day we'll convince those two idiots. I bet if you had a crush you'd get stronger to impress him too. What about those teammates of yours? Kiba's kind of cute, I guess. I don't like Kiba and Shino like that. They have girlfriends anyway. What? Both of them? I can kinda see Kiba with a girl, but Shino? Why, yes, Kiba is dating an intern at his family's animal shelter and Shishino is dating Kiba's girlfriend's sister. Oh, so Kiba hooked his friend up. I guess that makes sense. Well, there has to be a guy we can hook you up with. Hey, Forehead Girl. Hinata. I'd know that screech of a voice anywhere. The two girls turned around to find Ino running toward them. I'm sorry I'm late. Asuma took us out to eat in celebration of being chosen to take the Chunin exams. Oh, you too. Me and Hinata had our teams nominated as well. That's awesome. Anyway, what were you two just talking about? The three girls start walking towards their favorite ice cream shop. We were talking about how Hinata needs to get her a man. Sakura. It's true and you know it. Ooh, any interesting names come up? Well, as it turns out, she can't date her teammates since they're already dating some civilian girls. Oh, that's too bad. Hinata's face starts getting noticeably redder the more the two girls openly talk about her lack of a love life. Sheesh, Hinata, have you ever even liked a guy? Ino asked with a legitimate curiosity. Well, there was one boy a long time ago. Oh, tell us about him. Ino and Sakura said at the same time. I don't know his name, but he was always protecting the kids at the playground I used to go to from bullies. He even saved me from getting beat up once. I always wanted to talk to him but I was too shy. I never managed to even ask his name and none of the other kids knew it. I followed him once to CWH where he lived and he went to an orphanage. I think he got adopted because I haven't seen him in years. What did this guy look like? Sakura asked, curious to know more about her friend's only crush. He had spiky blonde hair and birthmarks that looked kinda like whiskers on his face. You mean like that guy up ahead? What? Up ahead of them entering their favorite ice cream shop was a group of 4 foreign ninja. The tallest one was a blonde-haired female and most likely the Jonin sensei of the 3 shorter kids. The other 3 were a dark-skinned boy with a lollipop in his mouth, a dark-skinned girl with fiery red hair, and a slightly shorter than the rest blonde-haired boy with whisker-like marks on his face and a bright orange tracksuit. The 4 ninja walked in and the girls who were watching the scene from afar were stunned. They were just talking about Hinata's only crush and here they find a boy that looks exactly like him. Could it have been him, you think, forehead girl? Why are you asking me, Eno pig? Hinata. Was that him? Think maybe. B but those W were CL Cloud Ninja. Why would a B boy from OR Village B be a CL Cloud Ninja? You said he was an orphan. Maybe he was adopted by someone who lived in the Lightning Country. Sakura stated in a know-it-all tone. Why don't we find out, girls? With a devilish grin, Ino grabs Sakura and Hinata by the hand and drags them into the ice cream shop. Why did it have to be the Cloud Village? Were Hinata's only thoughts as she was dragged into the shop behind what could possibly be the man of her dreams. After the girls step into the ice cream shop, a man in an Anbu mask steps out from the shadows of a nearby alley. The legacy of the 4th has returned and it appears he has an admirer. I must inform Lord Danzo immediately. With his new information, the Anbu vanishes in a swirl of leaves. As the 3 girls walked into the ice cream shop, they made their way to a table close enough to hear the Cloud group's conversation but far enough they could still whisper and be unheard. Ino made sure the table was behind Naruto so that he hopefully would not notice Hinata staring at him. What's up with all these foreigners? I've seen a few more walking around the village today. Are they all here for the Chunin exams? Ino asked. No one in particular. They must be Ino pig. Why else would there be so many ninja from so many different villages in one place? Sakura answered back. While Ino and Sakura whispered about the ninja in the shop, Hinata had her eyes glued to the back of Naruto's head as he talked among his group. Yo big sis, what are you gonna get me as a gift when I pass this exam with flying colors? Said blonde asked the older blonde. If you pass the exam I might consider giving you back those books of yours I took when you were 10. Ah, I can finally get back my ICHA books. Thanks sis. The 3 girls each had very different responses to this information. He reads those nasty little porn books, like Kakashi-sensei. I already don't like this guy. What an amateur getting caught with those books. I've had them since I was 8 and my parents still don't know about them. He reads ICHA too. Neither of the 2 groups noticed when a third trio of genin entered the shop. They were all Rain Village genin, wearing wetsuits and breathing apparatuses. That's him, isn't it? The Jinchuriki that Lord Pain wants us to observe. One of the 3 Rain Village genin whispered to his comrades. Yeah, the Jinchuriki of the 9 and 1 tails are still young and their skill sets are relatively unknown. Our mission is to observe them and determine their threat level. How do we do that, boss? Lord Pain wants us to fight him if possible. I've got an idea to bait him. Follow my lead. The 3 Rain genin walked over to the girls and their leader leaned on their table with one arm. Well, what do we have here? Who knew such a backwater village like this could have such pretty little ladies? Why don't you 3 girls come with me and my boys here and show us a good time? The leader said in an egotistical tone. As if freak show, get out of here before I kick that stupid face right off your shoulders. Ooh, I like it when little girls get angry. Why don't you try it, Pinky, and see what happens? As Sakura made to punch him, Hinata and Ino grabbed her fist to prevent her from striking. Sakura, if you hit him you could get in trouble and be kicked out of the Chunin exams. Ino is right as Sakura. Please calm down. Sakura calmed down a little but she started staring daggers at the three ninja in front of them. Oh, where did all that fire go, Pinky? Too much of a coward to fight Ba. Lariat. All of a sudden an orange flash collided with the rain ninja and sent him flying into the wall. The orange flash was none other than a very angry Naruto. I hate people who bully others like you. You have one chance to get the hell out of here before I wipe the floor with you and your two freaky little cronies. Said cronies were scrambling to pick up their fallen comrade. What the hell was that? This idiot just got knocked the fuck out is what happened. Pick his dumbass up and let's get out of here. The two genin picked up their leader and ran out as fast as they could. With those idiots gone, Naruto turned to the three girls with a big grin plastered on his face. Sorry you three had to see that. It really gets my blood boiling when people act like that. Naruto then held out his hand to the three girls who were still shocked at the display of strength they just saw. They soon snapped out of it and one by one shook his hand and introduced themselves. Thanks for that. My name is Sakura Haruno. I'm a genin for the village. Hi, my name is Ino Yamanaka and I'm the heir to the Yamanaka clan. Hi. My name is Hi Hinata Hi Hyuga. Hinata turned almost tomato red when her hand made contact with Naruto's. She let it stay on his for a while until Naruto broke contact. I'm the hero Naruto Uzumaki. At your service. Hero. Sakura and Ino asked at the same time. Yep. I'm a wicked cool hero who goes around and beats up all the bad guys. Just last month I stomped some evil rich guy who was using rogue ninja to oppress a fishing village in the land of waves. They even named a bridge after me. Naruto, no one wants to hear about your past missions. Karui said as she and the rest of the group walked up. I'll see about having those rain genin punished. Behavior like that is unacceptable. Yugito said. Oh, this is my team by the way. The blonde one is my big sis Yugito. The angry one is my teammate Karui, and the guy with the candy is Omoi. What you call me punk? Karui, calm down. If you beat up Naruto now he won't be in top shape for the Chunin exams and we'll all die. Bah, I could pass the Chunin exams without you two idiots. As Karui and Omoi bickered, Naruto and Yugito offered to let the three girls join them, to which they all agreed to. After they all sat down, Yugito started talking to the younger girls. So are any of you girls going to take the Chunin exams this year? You bet. All three of us are gonna take it and kick some serious ass. Oh, are you three girls on the same team? No. Good thing too. I don't know if I could last if I had to spend more than a few hours with Ino Pig. Right back at you, forehead girl. Yugito had a laugh at the two girls' playful banter but noticed Hinata was visibly nervous and not talking to anyone. She was also taking occasional glances at Naruto and blushing ever so slightly. Could that one be attracted to him? No way. A Hyuga of all people must hate the cloud after the kidnapping attempt. Her forehead is clear too, so she must be a main branch. Her thoughts were interrupted as their ice cream finally arrived. The group continued to have small talk for a while until Yugito said they had to get to their hotel soon and bid the girls farewell. As soon as they were out of earshot, the girls started to talk among themselves. Hinata, do you think that guy was him? Was he the same boy from when you were younger? I think so, Ino. So what do you think? Are you gonna ask him out or what? No. Why not? Father hates the CL cloud. If he knew about me eating with some he'd be very angry. Why does he hate the cloud so much? Ino and Sakura both asked. I don't know. All I remember is that something bad happened when I was 5 with a CL cloud ninja. I don't remember what happened exactly but ever since then father forbids me father from being near cloud ninja. Screw that. If you like someone, to hell with what your dad thinks. Hinata sat silent for a while Ino and Sakura just looked at her. I should be getting home now. Hinata ran off and left Sakura and Ino in the shop with sad looks on their faces. Meanwhile, Naruto and his team made their way to the hotel. They were walking down an alleyway, Karui and Omoi bickering about some nonsense while Naruto was talking to his big sis. Those three girls were really cute. I think the Hyuga kind of liked me. I noticed that too. She kept blushing at you. Yeah, I could feel really warm chakra coming from her. I like people with warm chakra. Do you think I might be able to be friends with her sis? I don't know, Naruto. After the kidnapping attempt all those years ago, I'm surprised she doesn't hate you for simply being a cloud ninja. But we imprisoned the guy responsible for that, didn't we? Yes, but not before he convinced the Hyuga to hand over the body of the man who killed the kidnapper. The idiot thought that he could get the Byakugan that way. They just put a seal on the man to keep his Byakugan from being analyzed. By the time the Raikage returned from his trip to the Chunin exams that year, it was already too late for him to do anything. He was at least able to imprison the mastermind, but the gesture wasn't enough, and we haven't been on good terms with the people of this village since. Well, if the people here don't like us, I'll just have to make them like us. It'll be good practice for when I become Raikage anyway. Hey, don't get ahead of yourself, kid. You still gotta pass the Chunin exams before you even consider becoming our Kage. Bring it on. I'll pass this exam with flying colors and be one step closer to my dream. Yugito was smiling at her little brother's enthusiasm. They soon reached their destination and took up residence in their rooms. The boys were in one room while the girls were in the room next to them. In the boys' room, Omoi was sitting at a table reading the newspaper while Naruto was laying on one of the two beds. Yo, Omoi, what do you say we go walking around some more? I don't feel like sitting around in this room all day. Yugito-sensei said to stay here. If we don't listen to her, she'll get mad at us and then she'll use her crazy fire powers to burn us to a crisp and we won't be able to take the exam. You worry too much. Sis wouldn't do that. Suddenly Naruto sat up and looked toward the window. What is it, Naruto? Just an old friend. Tell sis not to wait up. And with that, Naruto opened the window and jumped out. Omoi looked out the window to see Naruto talking to a leaf ninja. He was a tanned man with a scar running across his nose. The two talked for a few seconds, then walked off together. Yugito-sensei is gonna be pissed. Naruto and his old friend headed to a small ramen stand called Ichiraku Ramen. It had been a pretty slow day at Ichiraku Ramen until one blonde knucklehead and his older friend walked into the stand. The owner of the stand turned around to greet them as he did all the customers, but stopped himself when he saw that familiar spiky yellow head. Naruto. Is that you, Naruto? Tsuki. I haven't seen you in years. Naruto, I never thought I'd see you again after I heard you became a cloud ninja. I'm in town to take the Chunin exams. I'll be here for a while and I plan on eating my fill of your delicious ramen. That's good to hear. You and Iruka were my best customers all that time ago. Naruto and Iruka sat down and ordered their ramen. As Tsuki prepared it, the two old friends started catching up. So Iruka, how have things been here in the village? It's not the same without you here pulling pranks all the time. It's really boring. Speaking of pranks, have you pulled any good ones in the Cloud Village? Hee, well, my big sis is pretty good at catching me before I manage to pull off the big ones. Big sis? Yeah, I was taken in by another one of Killer Bee's students. Her name is Yugito. She's really nice. She's also single. Naruto said that last part with a devilish smirk. Iruka started blushing. Why'd you bring that up? Oh, no reason. How's your love life, Iruka? That's none of your business. Oh, so you're single too. You should go out with my big sis then. Iruka was blushing like mad and tried to hide it by devouring his ramen. Naruto was laughing his head off and Tsuki was smiling at the antics of his two favorite customers. After the two finished eating their ramen, Iruka paid their bill and they started to walk together. The village still looks the same as it did all of those years ago. Yeah, not much has changed. You know, the Hokage would really like to see you, Naruto. I figured as much. Tell him I'll go see him later tonight. My big sis wanted to talk to him too. What does she want to discuss with him? She wants to chew him out for letting me be kidnapped by Orochimaru all those years ago. Oh. Silence fell over the two as they walked. I don't blame anybody in the village for that, Iruka. Killer Bee taught me how to let go of my hate a long time ago. That's good to hear. This village is full of good people, Naruto. Just because they fear what they don't understand doesn't make them Naruto. Both men looked up to see a very angry Yugito staring down at them from the rooftops. Oh crap. Is that who I think it is, Naruto? Yep. That's my big sis. Yugito jumped down and grabbed Naruto by his ear. I told you not to leave the hotel room. Ah, sis, I was just getting ramen with an old friend. I don't care. I'm gonna kick your ass, you insubordinate little idiot. Iruka cleared his throat to try to get Yugito's attention. Sadly for him, it worked. Who the hell do you think you are taking my little brother off to God knows where? My name is Iruka. I was a very good friend of Naruto's before he left the village. I was just taking him out for some ramen. I'm sorry for not asking your permission first, ma'am. I promise it won't happen again. Yugito started to calm down a little after hearing Iruka talk. It better not. For your sake as much as his. She lets go of Naruto's ear. Ow. My poor ear. Naruto said, getting a few tears in his eyes from the stinging pain. I apologize for worrying you, miss. Naruto started to compose himself and decided to introduce the two. Sis, this is the man I told you about. He was one of the few people in the village who was nice to me when I was a kid. Iruka, this is my big sis Yugito. It's a pleasure to meet you. Iruka said as he offered his hand. Likewise. Yugito took his hand and shook it. Big sis, Iruka is single too, so you and him should go out sometime. Both adults blushed like crazy. Naruto. They both yelled. What? Weren't you complaining about how you can't get laid, not long before we came here? Ah, the things I talk about with my friends in the privacy of my house aren't things you should be listening to, or repeating, you little brat. I can't help it if you and your friends get loud when you drink. Yugito was blushing at a level that would rival Hinata. Iruka decided to take this opportunity to speak up. Miss Yugito. Why, yes. If you don't mind, I would like to spend some time talking to you. Not as a date exactly, but I'd like to know more about the person who is taking care of my little friend. What say you and I meet up in the morning and go to me and Naruto's favorite ramen stand? Make it an ice cream shop and you have a deal. Ice cream it is then. I'll see you in the morning. I have to go see the Hokage now. Naruto informed me that you and him plan on seeing him tonight and I should let him know. Iruka jumped away on the rooftops, leaving Naruto and Yugito alone. You got a date, sis. Good for you. Naruto exclaimed with a big grin. It's not a date, brat. You aren't off the hook either. You're getting some serious punishment later. Yugito grabbed Naruto by the ear and started dragging him toward their hotel. Fanfiction.net. Here it is, sis. The Hokage's room is at the very top. Naruto explained to his sister as they arrived at the Hokage's tower right as the sun began descending into the horizon. They walked in and were welcomed by a lady sitting at the front desk. She was expecting them and told them that the Hokage was waiting in his office. As they made their way to the top, Yugito took the opportunity to talk to Naruto about what she wanted to do. Naruto, I'll go in first so I can tell this old bastard what I think about him. You wait outside and when I'm done I'll let you in. He may ask to talk to you alone. I'll let you decide if you want me to leave the room or not. Yeah, I expected that. Naruto most certainly did not want to be in the same room with his sister while she was telling off the Hokage. Naruto had seen Yugito truly enraged only once in his life when he was caught peeping on some girls in a hot spring. He never wanted to relive that experience again. They finally arrived at the Hokage's office and Yugito knocked on the door. Come in, said an elderly voice from the other side. Yugito opened the door and walked in. Naruto sat on a couch just outside the door and waited for Yugito to come get him. He knew that if the Hokage didn't activate a privacy seal then Yugito would, so trying to eavesdrop would be pointless. He sat for a good 5 minutes until the door finally opened and Yugito walked out. Okay Naruto. You can come in now. Naruto got off of the couch and walked into the room only to be stunned at what he saw inside. The Hokage was sitting in a comfy chair and laying in front of him was a mass of splintered wood and broken table limbs. Sis, did you? I got a little excited. Don't worry about the table. I know a ninja who is exceptionally skilled at making wooden furniture. The old man said without a hint of fear or anger in his voice. Naruto was shocked at the Hokage's calm demeanor but quickly composed himself. It's good to see you again, old man. How have things been in the village without me? The Hokage cracked a small smile. Things have been quiet without you, to say the least. I no longer have Iruka coming into my office every week complaining about you pulling some crazy prank. Teehee, those were good times. For the most part anyway. Naruto, if it's okay with you and your guardian, I would like to speak with you in private. Yeah, I thought so. Naruto turned to his sister and told her to wait outside. She paused for a brief second to ruffle his hair before leaving the room. You've found someone very special to look after you, Naruto. I am very happy for you. The old man said with a smile. Yeah, I don't know what I would do without Big Sis. She's the best, even if she is a little overprotective. Naruto looked down at the splintered mass of wood in between him and the Hokage, but the old man merely laughed. In truth, when she came in here with such anger, I was beyond happy. It reminded me a bit of how Iruka used to storm in here whenever you got in trouble for something. Haha. So you noticed it too, huh? I was planning on hooking those two up while we're here. Most guys back home are giant wusses who get intimidated by sis real easily. Oh, my lips are sealed. Don't tell Iruka I said this, but that man desperately needs to be intimate with someone. I've been kind of worried about him lately. He's been helping get the exams ready on top of his usual workload as an instructor. He's been very stressed out, though he is an expert at hiding it. Don't worry about it. I've already set them up for a date tomorrow. If all goes well then. Well, you know. Excellent. I hope those two hit it off. How is your training going? Well, that's part of the reason I agreed to come talk to you. I hit a wall with my training and I need your help to get over it. Let me guess. You need the key to the seal. You already knew. I am well aware of the process you must go through to become a true Jinchuriki like Master B. I helped the Jinchuriki before you achieved that level. You mean my mom? The third dropped his pipe in shock. How did you know? Oh boy, do I have a story to tell you. Naruto began recounting the events of a training exercise that B and Yugito made him go through a few years after he came to the Cloud Village. How is this supposed to help me control Kurama's chakra? Naruto asked as he watched B meditating in his personal training grounds. It's important for a Jinchuriki to always be in control of their emotions. The best ways to do that are either meditation, or grabbing the lotion. B. Yugito yelled at him from beside Naruto. I don't get it, sis. What about lotion can help you get your emotions in control? You don't need to worry about that right now, Naruto. B. Don't tell him stuff like that. I'm only telling him the truth. Eventually he'll learn lotion's true use. A few minutes later, as B laid a few feet away unconscious, Yugito began instructing Naruto on the art of meditation. It sounds boring. Can you teach me how to turn into a giant like you can, sis? You're a couple of years too early to even be thinking about that technique, kiddo. If you ever want to use all of the cool Jinchuriki abilities that I know, then the first step is mastering this. Naruto pouted, but he listened to his sister and sat down with his legs crossed. Take deep breaths and try to empty your mind. It may take a while, but... Naruto. Something was strange. She expected Naruto to have a lot more trouble than this with meditation. She poked his shoulder but received no response. She knew he wasn't asleep because he had a habit of snoring, so he must have been drawn inside of his own mindscape somehow. Is it Kurama? No, it can't be. Kurama and Naruto can communicate without Naruto needing to be drawn into his mind. Then what is it? What are you doing here, Naruto? I'm trying to get some sleep. I thought you called me. Sis was teaching me how to meditate when I just sort of got sucked in here. That doesn't make any sense. If I didn't call you here then, I thought I sensed something strange about the seal. I should have expected something like this from you. Kushina. Kushina. Naruto repeated as he felt a warm hand on his shoulder. He turned around and came face to face with a beautiful red-haired woman in a green dress. You would know her as Mother. Kurama explained as he turned his back to the loving scene unfolding outside his cage. My baby. Kushina whispered as she hugged Naruto gently. Naruto returned the embrace with tears in his eyes. I don't understand. How? I poured some of my spirit into your seal so that I could meet you. I intended it as a fail-safe in case Kurama went mad again, but it seems that he's returned to his original state of mind. How could you speak about it so plainly? What I did to you was unforgivable. What are you talking about, mommy? Naruto. It all started the night you were born. That was the night that the masked man appeared. Masked man? The third asked back in the present day. I never knew about any masked man. I was under the impression that your mother's seal broke under the stress of childbirth. I know. Apparently this guy showed up right after I was born and used me as a hostage. My dad fought him off, but he managed to release Kurama and hypnotize him with a genjutsu. That's why he attacked the village. I had my suspicions of the attack, but this is troubling. What kind of genjutsu was it? It would need to be one of incredible power to hypnotize a tailed beast. Naruto. Sharingan. It was a Sharingan that hypnotized Kurama. I see. Please go on with your story. Okay. After she explained everything about the night that I was born, I was really mad about a couple of things. You killed my parents. Naruto stared at Kurama's back, speechless. Baby, you shouldn't blame him for that. He wasn't himself. Stop. Just stop. Stop making excuses for me. It wasn't the genjutsu. I was freed from the genjutsu during my fight with Minato and Gamabunta. When I killed you two, I knew what I was doing. I finally had a chance at freedom after all the years of imprisonment. I could go home to my valley and how could you forgive me? As I ripped my claw free from your flesh, you looked straight into my eyes and forgave me. How? Kurama's chakra started swirling around him violently. Naruto could barely keep his footing as the waves of energy washed over him, but Kushina stood in front of him and blocked Kurama's raging chakra with her own. Ya goddamn drama queen. Kushina roared as countless golden chains erupted from her back. They flew toward Kurama and tied him up. As they pinned him to the ground, some of them formed up and took the shape of a giant paddle. No! Kurama screamed in fear as he realized what was happening. The golden paddle descended on Kurama's rear end no differently than it would have a misbehaving child. Ya gonna cry about it? Ya gonna cry, baby fox? Kushina raised the golden paddle extra high for the final smack. The sound of the paddle making contact with Kurama was so deafening that Naruto had to cover his ears. Did that really happen, or are you exaggerating? The third Hokage asked, unsurprisingly suspect of the story at this point. If I'm lying, I'm dying. I was just as surprised as you are. So what happened after your mother disciplined Kurama? She convinced me and Kurama to put our past behind us and focus on becoming strong enough to fight the masked man when he comes for us. I still had one thing I needed to ask her before she left though. So my dad was really the fourth Hokage? Yes. His name was Minato Namikaze and he was a wonderful man. You look so much like him. I bet the girls will be all over you when you get older. Did the third Hokage know I was his son? Naruto. The third bowed his head, expecting Naruto to yell at him for lying to him in his youth. He was surprised when no such outburst came. She explained it all to me. I understand why you never told me and I forgive you for it. Dad had his enemies, and if they knew about me, I mean, the stone village calls him the Yellow Devil for crying out loud. I never would have been safe if they caught wind of me. Anyway, me and Mom had a heart-to-heart right before her chakra ran out and her spirit faded. She told me a lot like how to make chakra chains like she can. It's really not that hard if you have the right kind of chakra like we do. The Hokage sat back in his chair and took a nice long hit of his pipe, taking in all of this new information. I'm glad that you understand the situation I was in. It pained me every time I had to lie to you about your parents. Now about the key, I'm sorry to say that I do not have it. The key was inscribed on the belly of one of your father's toad summons and given to his master Jiraiya. You mean my worthless bum of a godfather? Mom told me about him too. You I can forgive for lying to me, but what he did was unacceptable. He left me to fend for myself in a world that hated me. I don't want to see that man if I can help it. I understand your anger, Naruto, but if you wish to be a true Jinchuriki, you must find him and convince him to unseal the fox's full power. Until then, you can only use as much chakra as the fox can safely pump through the seal without breaking it. Naruto sighed, defeated. Where is that old bum anyway? He's off searching for Orochimaru. Orochimaru. There's something you should know about Orochimaru. If it's about his immortality jutsu, I already know. So the old pervert figured that much out. Orochimaru was planning on jumping into my body, but Kurama put an end to that pretty quickly. We have reason to believe the next target for his jutsu is a boy in this village named Sasuke Uchiha. We suspect Orochimaru wants him for his eyes. That's not all he wants. Orochimaru loves rare bloodlines and goes out of his way to keep dying ones around. I saw a ton of people from dying clans when I was there. A crystal-style user, a bone-style user, and even a couple more Uzumaki. He made it perfectly clear to all of them that he was expecting them to breed for him eventually. More Uzumaki. How many? 3. 2 of them were just as screwed up in the head as Orochimaru was. The other one wasn't like that. She was good to me and wanted to escape together. Orochimaru sent her away from me when he found out though. I'm sorry to hear that. Do you want me to inform Jiraiya to keep an eye out for her? Yeah, her name was Karen and she's pretty easy to spot. She's got the Uzumaki's red hair and wears glasses. She focuses more on science and stuff, so her ninja training isn't that intense. She's pretty skinny. I'll do everything I can to find her. Thank you for bringing this information to me, Naruto. Don't mention it, old man. Just promise to get that bastard for me. Quote. I promise, Naruto. I will not allow this monster to roam free any longer. Ya know, for a second there you actually sounded intimidating. Naruto said with a big foxy grin. I was once known as the god of Shinobi. You'd do well to remember that, boy. Even in my old age I could decimate you with my little pinky. I don't doubt it. The Raikage once beat me up with his big toe. The third imagined what that must have looked like and started to crack up laughing. Naruto soon joined in. Ha 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 ha. Naruto, if you ever feel the need to return to your homeland, we will welcome you with open arms. Yeah, I know. I'm not leaving my big sis though, so don't count on that happening. I assumed you were gonna say that. I had to ask because of my advisors though. I bet those old fogies are gonna yell at you for not trying to bribe me with money and women or some other nonsense. Most likely. You're just like your father, so doing that would be pointless. He was not one to accept bribes. I remember he once tossed a man off the roof for attempting to bribe him. Really? He didn't kill him, did he? No, I was there to catch him. Your father did it as a way to send a message to anyone who thought his integrity was questionable. I'll have to remember that when I become the Raikage someday. Oh, you wish to become the Raikage? I remember the days you used to spend running around the village claiming to be the Hokage when you grew up. If it was up to me, I'd be the Kage of all 5 villages. If I could do that, then I could stop everyone from fighting and make the world a much more peaceful place. Ha 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 ha. You never cease to amaze me, Naruto. If anyone can unite the 5 villages, I believe it would be you. That reminds me. A few years ago, one of my sons started his own family. My grandson reminds me a lot of you. He claims that he will be the Hokage one day and runs around the village pulling pranks like you did. I would like you to meet him. He should be arriving any Seiko. Old man. A small child dove through the door holding a shuriken in his hand. I'm gonna defeat you and become the 5th Hokage. The small child ran forward only to trip and fall flat on his face. That hurt. The Hokage face-palmed and Naruto was holding back a huge laugh. Konohamaru. It's not a sneak attack if I told you to come here at this time. Ha 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 ha. Naruto couldn't hold back his laughter any longer. Who is this blonde jerk? Who dares to laugh at the next Hokage? Who am I? I'm Naruto Uzumaki and I'm going to be the Raikage one day. The Raikage. That makes you my rival. I challenge you to a duel. Aren't you a little young to be challenging awesome ninja like me to a duel? The only awesome ninja here is me. You're just a big blonde idiot with a stupid face. What did you just say to me, punk? You heard me, shorty. I'm taller than you, shrimp. I'm just a little boy. What's your excuse? Enough. The 3rd Hokage finally yelled out. Both boys were shocked and started bowing down, apologizing to the Hokage. You two are so alike in many ways. I would go as far as to say you two deserve each other. The reason I called you two here is that in the time Naruto is here in the village, I wouldn't mind the two of you spending some time together. I believe you two could learn a lot from each other. Konohamaru, if you do intend to be the Hokage one day, you need to learn how to make friendships with foreigners. The same goes for you in your quest to be the Raikage, Naruto. I believe it could be a mutually beneficial friendship. Both boys looked at each other and shook hands. If that's what you want, Grandpa, I guess I can spend some time with this guy. You were right when you said this kid was like me. I wouldn't mind pulling a prank or two with him. You like to pull pranks too. Of course. Didn't you hear stories about me? I'm the guy who painted the Hokage monument with graffiti. That was you. You're my prankster idol. What have I done? Sarutobi said aloud as the two pranksters walked out of his office. Naruto introduced Konohamaru to Yugito, and after making plans to meet each other after his morning training session, the two parted ways and Naruto and his sister made their way back toward the hotel. Later, at the hidden base of the Root Foundation, the same Anbu who watched Naruto and his team walk into the ice cream shop with Hinata and friends following close behind was giving his report to his boss. The boss was an older man with bandages covering large portions of his body. I thank you for bringing me this information. You may go now. The Anbu disappeared from sight, instantly leaving Danzo to ponder this new information by himself. So not only has the Fourth's legacy returned, but there exists in this village a girl with interest in him. I could use this to my advantage, but I must be careful. The girl is the very same Hyuga that was almost kidnapped by the Cloud all those years ago. I must find a way to push the two together without the rest of her clan getting in the way. I must also find a way to distance the boy from the Cloud village. I wonder if he knows about what the Cloud tried to do to his mother. Danzo was snapped out of his thoughts when yet another of his Anbu subordinates appeared. Sir, we have found the resting place of the Three Tails like you requested. He is hibernating in a lake 1 week's journey from the village. Excellent. Mobilize the sealing team. I want that demon in our hands as soon as possible. Also bring me the files I requested on possible Jinchuriki candidates. Yes, sir. Danzo was once again left alone with his thoughts. Yet another demon shows itself to me. If I play my cards right, we could have two of the tailed beasts under the control of the leaf. Naruto had just finished his early morning training with his sister and teammates and was getting ready to spend time with the 3rd Hokage's grandson like he promised. He walked out of his hotel and noticed someone trying to hide behind a camouflage cloak that was being held the wrong way. Is that you, Konohamaru? The boy dropped the cloak and smiled. As expected of my new rival. Even a master of stealth like myself can't hide from you. Konohamaru, you were holding the cloak the wrong way. It wasn't hard to see you. Konohamaru started blushing and rubbing the back of his head. What are we going to do today, boss? The embarrassed boy said, trying to change the subject. Naruto got a devilish grin on his face. Today we are gonna pull some pranks. Oh, what kind of pranks? Konohamaru was visibly excited at the mention of pulling pranks. Some awesome pranks. I haven't been able to get much pranking done because my big sis is always catching me, but today I set her up on a date, so we should be able to get some serious pranking done while she focuses on that. In the hotel's shared bathhouse, Yugito was currently soaking in a bath with Karui beside her after the morning training. Achoo. Looks like someone's talking about me. Maybe it's that guy Naruto set you up on a date with. I told you it's not a date. You're letting him treat you to ice cream. How is that not a date? Shut up, Karui. Yugito was blushing wildly. Whatever. Be in denial for all I care. You know that idiot's probably gonna go try and pull a bunch of pranks, right? I know. I figure I'll let him loose just for today. I trust him not to pull anything that leads to an international incident. You trust that dumbass way more than I do. Karui got a firm slap upside her head for that comment. Don't cuss so much. Ow. You didn't have to hit me that hard. Back with the boys, they were strolling through some back alleys as Naruto was explaining his game plan to Konohamaru. Okay, Konohamaru, I figure we'll pull a couple of smaller pranks as a warm-up, then we'll move on to the big one I have planned today. Sure thing, boss. What kind of prank do you want to pull first? Teehee, I'll show you one of my favorite pranks first. Follow me. The two jumped on the roofs and started jumping around town till they found a good mark. Those two are perfect. Naruto pointed out a couple on the street walking hand in hand. How are we gonna prank them, boss? Watch and learn, young grasshopper. Naruto put his hands into a seal in preparation for a jutsu. Transform. Naruto suddenly turned into a beautiful woman with large assets and long flowing blonde hair tied into pigtails. She was wearing an orange shirt that hugged her figure tightly and black shorts that showed off practically every inch of her legs. Whoa, was all Konohamaru could say as he looked at the beautiful woman in front of him with a blush. Teehee, like what you see, Konohamaru? I call this my sexy jutsu. Boss, you have got to teach me that one. Maybe later, for now just watch and learn. Naruto jumped down from the roof around a corner in front of where the couple were heading. He turned the corner and started walking the opposite direction as them while whistling a happy melody. As he walked, he made sure to sway his hips side to side in an alluring way. He passed the couple and the man turned his head to stare at Naruto's rather plump behind. The woman of course saw this and immediately slapped the man in the back of the head and called him a pervert. She broke her hand free from the man's and stormed off with the man offering apology after apology while chasing after her. Works every time. Naruto yelled excitedly after the couple were out of earshot. Konohamaru jumped down from the roof and had a look of pure admiration on his face. Boss, that was amazing. You have to teach me that technique sometime. Later. I got a few more pranks to show you before I let you in on the details for the big prank. As the two started jumping around the roofs looking for more marks, Naruto couldn't help but wonder about his sister and Iruka. They should be meeting up right about now. I hope those two hook up so I don't have to hear sis complaining about not getting laid again. Not long after Naruto and Konohamaru had left, Iruka picked up Yugito from the hotel and took her to the same ice cream shop she took her team the day before. Yugito was currently devouring the ice cream at a speed that would rival Naruto when he eats ramen. My, you certainly have a strong appetite today. Yugito stopped eating and blushed. I really like ice cream. Anything with milk or cream in it, really. Oh, I see. Well, at least milk is healthy. Naruto's obsession with ramen has to be one of the most unhealthy habits I've ever seen. Don't worry about that. I make sure that he gets proper nutrition. Even if I have to force the fruits and vegetables down his throat. Haha, that's good. That boy needs a firm hand to keep him in line. I hear he hasn't been doing as many pranks because of you. I can usually catch him before he gets the big ones off. He still likes to harass people who piss him off though. All of a sudden the two hear a woman just outside the store yelling at a man for being a nasty pervert who likes underage girls. That was probably Naruto's handiwork. Yugito said with a small smile. What do you mean? Uruka asked curiously. He likes to transform into an attractive teenage girl and walk around in front of couples to expose the unfaithful guys. Wow, that's a move. Yugito was taken aback by the brash and vulgar way Uruka described Naruto's favorite prank and started laughing hysterically. Uruka started blushing wildly. I don't know why I said that. It just sort of slipped out. I'm very sorry, that was incredibly inappropriate. Ha 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 ha, it's okay. I like guys who tell it like it is. After she realized what she said, she started blushing just like Uruka. They sat in an uncomfortable silence for a while until Uruka decided to speak. So tell me about how you and Naruto became family. Back when Naruto came to my village, he was still just an innocent child. I was amazed that someone who could have experienced such painful experiments at the hands of that monster could still have such a positive outlook on life. I decided that I would adopt him and treat him like the little brother I always wanted. That's not all, right? You wanted to help him because you know the kind of life people like you tend to have. Yes, I didn't want him to have the same lonely childhood I had. People with our condition have to stay together. Don't talk about it like it's a sickness. There is nothing wrong with you too. Quote. Thank you. I can tell you are a kind, understanding man. I'm glad he had a friend like you while he was here. I wasn't always this understanding. I didn't like Naruto at first, but something he did changed my opinion of him. Uruka began reminiscing about the time he and Naruto first met. Uruka was taking a casual stroll through the parks of the village when he noticed three boys pushing around a small girl with white eyes and blue hair. Uruka immediately ran toward them to stop them, but before he could get close enough, an orange and yellow flash knocked one of the boys down. Stop picking on people, you big dumb bully. Who the heck are you? The bully yelled out from under Naruto. I'm the guy who's gonna be the Hokage one day. I won't let bad guys like you hurt anybody in this village. Get him off me, you morons. The boy yelled to his underlings, who quickly grabbed Naruto and started to punch and kick him. Alright, that's enough. Uruka finally yelled out, and the three boys turned and ran from the sight of the angry man in front of them. Uruka ran up and saw that the girl was crying over the boy's chest. I'm sorry. If I wasn't so weak, you wouldn't need to save me. Lady Hinata. Keiko. Suddenly an older Hyuga man showed up and asked Hinata what just happened. She explained that she was getting bullied and that she was saved by the boy and older man. The Hyuga thanked Uruka for helping Hinata and quickly took her away. Wait, what about that boy? Lady Hinata, it's in your best interest to ignore that child. He is not the kind of boy you should associate with. But he saved me. That man saved you, not the boy. Now please be quiet and don't mention that boy again. Especially in front of your father. Hinata hung her head in defeat and was silent all the way home. Uruka, on the other hand, stood by Naruto. Hey, are you okay? Why, yeah. Is that girl okay? Yes. Her caretaker just took her home. Good. I hate it when bad guys hurt pretty girls. That was really brave of you to jump in and help her like that. Well, if I'm going to be the Hokage one day, I'm gonna have to get used to helping people. I have an idea. Do you want me to take you to eat something as a reward for your bravery? Yes, sir. Naruto's face lit up with a huge smile at the prospect of food. Have you ever had ramen before? There's a really good ramen stand nearby. Ramen. Never heard of it. Is it good? Why don't you be the judge of that? Okay, I will. Uruka took Naruto by his tiny hand and walked him to Ichiraku Ramen, where Naruto ate his first and definitely not last bowl of ramen. And that's the day Naruto discovered ramen, and also the day he became like a brother to me. Yugito was silent as she processed what she just heard. A young Hyuga girl. It must have been the same one we saw yesterday. Yugito was snapped back to reality when she heard Iruka clear his throat. That's certainly an interesting story. Even now Naruto will jump into a fight to protect someone weaker than him. Yeah, I've heard rumors about what happened in the Wave Country. Would you mind telling me the whole story of what happened there? Wave Country, huh? That's an interesting one for sure. The mission was supposed to be a simple assassination. Get in and kill the shipping tycoon Gato and then get out. Naruto didn't want to kill him though. Why? Gato is a notorious criminal. I would think Naruto of all people would jump at a chance to get rid of such a man. Naruto is very idealistic. He wanted to make Gato stand trial for his crimes. He rounded up some civilians and gave a rousing speech about standing up for yourself. He inspired the people to take up arms, and with me and the other 2 members of our team we were able to storm his hideout and wipe out his entire army of thugs. It was that easy. But Gato is known for hiring rogue ninja. They didn't try and stop you. One of the perks of being like me and Naruto is that some ninja know better than to mess with you. The rogue ninja he hired cut their losses and got out of there the second they realized who I was. Anyway, we took Gato prisoner and he was put on trial by the people. They found him guilty and he was publicly executed. What about the bridge? I heard they named it after Naruto. Yes. Well, the bridge was the reason Gato was in the wave. The people were trying to build it as a way to break free of Gato's control. He was staying in the wave until he could find and assassinate the bridge builder. Luckily, the bridge builder went into hiding right before the contract came in on Gato's life. He came back after he heard of Gato's death and with Naruto and my team's help finished the bridge. To think that goofy little kid I used to take out for ramen would grow into such a hero. If you think it's weird for you, imagine how it is for me. I used to sit him down and help him with his homework. That boy couldn't even read or write before he met me, and forget about him doing math. Ha ha ha, I remember how angry he would get when he would see numbers. He would always start yelling. Numbers are stupid and whoever thought of them is a jerk. Both of the adults said at the same time. The 2 started a light-hearted laugh. You know, Miss Yugito, I'm glad you and Naruto found each other. He deserves to have a family as great as you. I'm not that great of a family. Yugito was once again blushing. Every month I have a get-together with a bunch of my girlfriends and we like to drink and talk about girl stuff. Naruto hates it. We can get pretty loud and raunchy sometimes and it's part of the reason he became such a pervert. Come on, you can't be that bad when you get together with your friends. Yugito bent over the table and whispered something into Iruka's ear. Iruka instantly blushed at a level that would rival Hinata. That's the kind of stuff we talk about. Well, that's interesting. Naruto overheard that conversation and I caught him the next day looking in an anatomy textbook trying to understand what we were talking about. Of all the things he would be interested in studying, it had to be that. Both adults were blushing in yet another uncomfortable silence. Well, I should probably get going now. I'm an academy teacher and I have to get my lesson plan for tomorrow done. As Iruka got up, his hand was suddenly grabbed by Yugito. Will I see you again? Well, we could always have dinner or something together. Tonight. Yeah. Here's my address. Iruka wrote his address on a piece of paper and handed it to Yugito. Come over at around 8 tonight and I'll make something for us. I'll be there. Iruka walked off and Yugito was in the shop alone. Why am I feeling like this? He's a foreigner. But he makes me so happy and no one back home even thinks about touching me. I have to get a hold of myself. I'm not about to give it up to a man after only 1 date. Wouldn't it technically be 2 dates if you go tonight? You don't talk to me for 2 days and this is what you butt in with. I don't see the problem with this. You're both attracted to each other, so there should be no reason you 2 can't mate. You wouldn't understand. Humans can't just go around mating whenever we want without consequences. Your species invented birth control. You're the only animals in the world that can. Quote. Well, I'm done talking to you. Elsewhere in the village, Naruto and Konohamaru were preparing for their final prank of the day. Okay Konohamaru, I've shown you all of my favorite pranks, now it's time for us to pull the ultimate prank. What are we gonna do, boss? You and I are going to challenge the Hokage to a duel. Are you crazy? How is that a prank? We're gonna get our butts kicked. It's a prank because we aren't going to fight. We'll challenge him and then I'll bust out my ultimate anti-pervert technique. Ooh, what kind of technique is it, boss? It puts my sexy jutsu to shame. Come on and I'll show you. The two bolted toward the Hokage tower to challenge the Hokage. It was getting late into the afternoon, so the Hokage should have been finished with his paperwork. When the two arrived, they opened the door to find the third reading a small orange book. I knew you were a pervert, old man. Grandpa, how come you can read those books and I can't? Both boys yelled at the Hokage, causing him to drop his book in shock. Naruto, Konohamaru, what are you two doing here? We're here to challenge you to an honorable duel. Yeah, an honorable duel, Grandpa. Naruto suddenly put his hands into a strange seal Konohamaru had never seen before. My ultimate anti-pervert jutsu. First I start off with this. Shadow clone jutsu. About 10 Narutos suddenly appeared in the room. Konohamaru and the Hokage were both shocked, but the Hokage was even more so because he knew how dangerous this jutsu was. He learned the Shadow Clone Jutsu. The Raikage let him learn a forbidden technique. Now for the second part. Transform. Suddenly the Narutos were all changed into teenage girls identical to the one earlier in the day. Oh Lord Hokage, you're such a handsome man. Let me give you a big wet. The clones all said in unison. Suddenly a geyser of blood shot out of the Hokage's nose and he fell over unconscious. Success. Both the boys said in unison before they ran out the door, high-fiving each other along the way. The third Hokage regained consciousness quickly and sat back in his chair. My, what an interesting jutsu. Lord Hokage. The third turned around in his chair and saw a silver-haired Jonin wearing a mask. Yes, Kakashi. That was awesome. Indeed. What brings you around here at this time, Kakashi? I've received word from Jiraiya. He's found a promising lead on Orochimaru, but he'll be here as soon as he can. Keep me updated. Knowing Jiraiya, he'll just show up one day at a hot spring. He was never one for protocol. Understood. With that, Kakashi bowed to the Hokage and jumped out the open window he used to get in. Now where was I? The Hokage picked up his orange book and kept reading. It was already dark when Naruto dropped off Konohamaru at the Sarutobi clan compound. Naruto left him with a promise to teach him the sexy jutsu whenever he had some free time. A sudden rumbling in Naruto's stomach sent him to Ichiraku Ramen, where he saw Tyuki's daughter Ayame. Hey Ayame, do you remember me? She looked at him for a few seconds until she realized. Naruto. She grabbed him in a bone-crunching hug and lifted him off the ground. Ah Ayame, you're gonna crush me and I won't be able to take the Chunin exams. She placed the boy back down with a happy look on her face. I missed you, Naruto. Me and Dad were really worried about you. Yeah, I know. I already met your dad yesterday. He didn't tell you I was back in town. He told me to expect a visit from a VIP sometime in the next few days. He probably expected you to come in and surprise me sometime. Like I just did, Naruto said with a chuckle. Well yeah, anyway sit down and I'll make you my new specialty ramen. Naruto did as instructed and he started conversing with Ayame as she cooked. So how have things been, Ayame? Things have been good. A little boring without you here though. People keep telling me that. How are things in the Cloud Village? The Cloud Village isn't so bad. I've got good friends and a big sister to take care of me. Oh, you should bring her here sometime so I can meet her. I'll try, but tomorrow I'm gonna start doing some hard last-minute training for the Chunin exams. I won't have a lot of free time. Chunin exams, huh? Are you gonna kick some butt? You bet. I'm gonna demolish all the competition and prove I'm the best. Ayame had a chuckle at Naruto's boisterous attitude. So Naruto, do you have a special girl back at the Cloud Village? None of the girls my age back at the Cloud Village really catch my eye. There is one girl I saw here in this village that caught my attention though. Naruto said with a big blush visible on his cheeks. What's she like? Maybe I've seen her around. She's got really pretty blue hair and white eyes. I saw her and some other girls at an ice cream shop the other day. At first she just sort of blended into the background and I didn't notice her, but once I took a closer look I realized she was really pretty and that she kind of liked me. I'm thinking of asking her out sometime. White eyes. You mean a Hyuga? Yeah, Hinata was her name. Hinata. I think I know that girl. My friend who works at the local bakery talks about a Hyuga girl named Hinata who buys cinnamon buns from her. Really? What does she say about her? Naruto was excited at the prospect of learning more about the girl he was so interested in. She's apparently a really timid girl. Hyuga women have a reputation for being spoiled and rude, but my friend told me that she's really kind and considerate. One day when they were short-staffed at my friend's bakery, Hinata offered to help and spent the whole day in the kitchen. Yeah, she seemed like the nicest one of the girls I met yesterday. The other two were really pretty, but they didn't have the same kind of inner beauty that Hinata had. Ayame couldn't help herself from bursting into laughter. Huh? What's so funny, Ayame? I'm sorry, Ayame said as she suppressed her laughter. It's just the way you described her as having an inner beauty was just so adorable. Naruto got a huge blush on his face yet again and sat in silence until his food was done. He devoured it in an instant and paid Ayame. It was good to see you again, Naruto. I hope things work out between you and that girl. Just tell her about her inner beauty and I bet she'll fall in love with you on the spot. See you later, Ayame. Naruto ran off embarrassed and found himself on some rooftop somewhere. He took out a pocket watch and looked at the time. It's still not that late. What else can I do tonight? Naruto, I have a favor to ask. Kurama, you've been pretty quiet the past couple of days. What's up? Ever since we've been in the village I've been sensing something really weird. I think that there might be another Jinchuriki besides you and Yugito. How is that possible? I was the only Jinchuriki in this village. This one might be a genin here to take the Chunin exams like you. Focus for a second and you should be able to sense him not too far from here. Naruto complied with Kurama's wishes by sitting in a meditative position and activating his sensory powers. He was soon able to sense every person in the entire village. He could feel everything they were feeling and could even pinpoint their exact location. Okay, what exactly am I looking for? Imagine if I was batshit insane and a lot weaker. If I'm right, then this Jinchuriki is paired with Shukaku, the one tail. Okay, I think I found him. He's in a hotel in the rich part of town. Good God, you weren't kidding about this guy. He'd give to Yuya a run for her money with how screwed up his head is. Then it's as I feared. Shukaku has gotten to him. What's up with Shukaku? Is he really that bad? It's partly his fault that the Jinchuriki tradition exists. He hates humanity. Unlike the rest of us who either learn to coexist with humans or ignore them, Shukaku actively sought conflict with them. To be honest, I've been wanting to beat some sense into him for a long time. Before we do that, I want to try talking it out. Maybe I can help them like B did for you and me. Fine. Be warned that I will intervene if you end up fighting him. I don't care if you refuse my power when fighting the other genin, but I will not stay my hand against another Jinchuriki. I got it. Don't worry, I would have asked for your help anyway. Good. Now what's the plan, Naruto? Are you going to tell Yugito about this? I'll tell her tomorrow. I don't want to get in the way of her date tonight. It seems to be going pretty well from what I can tell. Pretty well was an understatement. Yugito and Iruka were having a great time swapping stories about their careers and their friends. So let me get this straight, they had an actual measuring contest. Yes, and they kept begging me to be the one to measure. It was kind of creepy actually. I had a pair of girlfriends who made me measure their chest size once, so I can relate. It's hard being the only sane one in a group sometimes, isn't it? You can say that again. Can you excuse me for a second while I go to the bathroom? Of course. Yugito got up and walked over to the bathroom. Uruka was a gentleman, but even the most noble of man has to peek when a woman with a behind shaped like Yugito's is walking away. Of course, being the gentleman that he was, his peek was brief. He turned away, his face flushed. Little did he know that Yugito's face was equally flushed. Shit. I've got to think of an excuse to get out of here before I do something stupid. Or you could mate with him like I've been telling you to this whole time. God damn it, Matabi. Just do it. I can't. Do it. No. You want it and he wants it, so just do it. Do it. You don't understand. I can't do it because I forgot my birth control at home like a dumbass. I remembered when you mentioned birth control earlier. Then make him wear a goddamn condom. What if he doesn't have any? I don't want to get his hopes up for nothing. For sake Yugito, there's a convenience store right around the corner. He can go buy some. Yeah, but what if he gets really embarrassed and can't buy them? I swear to God I'll supercharge your hormones if you don't have a in you within 10 minutes. You think you're horny now? This is nothing compared to what I can make you experience. Fine. I'm going. Uruka jumped when his bathroom door swung open and a scarlet Yugito walked out. Do you have any condoms here or do we need to buy some? She asked bluntly. Naruto dropped some off while we were out earlier. Hold on a sec. Both their chakra signatures just got way hotter. I think they're about to. Oh. We have penetration. Yes. My man Uruka closing the deal. Good thing we dropped off those rubbers earlier. It was a little awkward with Konohamaru with us, but it was worth it. I'm so glad this happened. Now I don't need to listen to sis complaining about how she can't get laid. Speaking of getting laid, I sense a cute little white-eyed honey not too far from here. Want to test our luck? You are one perverted fox, you know that. That's why we make such a good team. You got that right. Okay, let's go get her. Hinata was very conflicted right now. All she could think about the past 2 days was how her childhood crush just appeared out of nowhere and just happened to be a ninja from the most hated village in the Hyuga clan. She didn't even know why the Hyuga hated the Cloud so much and she was afraid to ask. It was driving her crazy thinking about it all. She finally decided to get her mind off of everything by going out and buying some cinnamon buns.